regarding anything?
Yeah, Vijay, if you don't mind, can you recap the yesterday's topic?
Yeah, sure. I'll quickly uh, review and then we'll start the remaining points. Okay, so let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Yes.
Yeah, Vijay.
Okay. So basically, we are discussing about the technical SEO. I'll just quickly summarize what we discussed yesterday. One is a domain format where which country or which location you are targeting. If you choose the domain of that country, then it is more relevant and more chance to rank by the Google or or the respective platforms. So domain format is very important. .com, .uk, .in, .us. So that's the thing. And URL structure, where we discussed that you know there should be domain, let's say www.xyz.com. So after that, if there is any specific category, let's say I have a treatments, multiple treatments. If I have a hospital, so under treatments, let's say you have a cardiology treatment, then you have a cardiology page. So like that, you will define the URL structure. I have shown yesterday, with an Excel sheet how we can categorize the URLs or the categorize the pages. So make sure your URL structure is proper. If you just randomly create, without any proper folders or subfolders, then what happens? Your complete site structure will be mess. After that, it will be very difficult to even understanding for you or not understanding for Google or any search engines. Okay, so the URL structure is important. And website structure, when you say primarily, you can say about the menu or the sitemap. Okay, so how we structured the entire website. Let's say you can see the categories. Inside the categories, there are subcategories. You know, these are the subcategories, and inside the subcategories, you have products. How you are defining the breadcrumbs. Suppose if you have any clicked on any product, did you define the breadcrumb or not? Breadcrumb means this one. So this you are seeing, right? This is a breadcrumb. So you should be able to properly structure your pages and your website. So that comes under a website structure. And structured data schema, which we discussed last few classes, like where you can give additional information related to any businesses. If you have a hospital, you have a hospital related schema. If you have a some law firm, you have a law firm related schema. For a blog, there is a one type of schema. For FAQ pages, there is a one type of schema. For maybe e-commerce product page, you have a one type of schema. So this is a schema which you need to generate using any types of schema generators. And the canonical is nothing but suppose let's say there is a multiple products you have or a same product you have. Okay, suppose let's say I have this mouse. Now this same mouse, I can have the mouse in the Lenovo. So if I in the Lenovo also there will be a mouse, and in Apple also there is a mouse, but there are different mouses. They are like a company, Lenovo company based mouses or Apple company based mouses. But whereas if you go to the mouse, now you can see there are they have a separate category with the name of mouse. And this same mouse is also an accessory. Okay, Mouse we can have a separate category, and mouse we can also keep in the accessory category also. So same product, I have the same product, but I can keep this same product in different folders. So in that case, what happens, if you want to keep the same product in multiple categories, you need to define the canonical. Okay, so where you define, I'll show you if it is a WordPress. So either you can go to the page or post, any post or any page. Let's say this is a page where you want to define a canonical. So you just come down, so here you can see the canonical URL. Okay, under yoast there is a bottom, it's a canonical URL. So here you need to define what is your main page, what is our sub page. Suppose if you have a keep as the same page multiple categories, so you need to define which is your main page. Okay, otherwise if you don't put the canonical URL, what happens, Google will think that you are just trying to randomly create some 3 pages or 4 pages or 5 pages on the website just to gain the traffic. So it's a malpractice. So by defining the canonical, what you are saying to the Google is that this is my primary page, so only consider this page only. Don't consider, suppose even if you go to the another category, okay, let's say if it is in today's deals, so even if you found here also, you just take the original one only. So that is what we are saying, the canonical URL. And then the broken links means 404 errors. Suppose if you remove some page from your website, then it will go to the 404 error, or if the URL is changed. In that case, what you need to do, you need to redirect. For redirection in the Yoast, it's a premium option, but you can just download a plugin called redirection. Okay, for the redirection there is a separate plugin will be there, through which you can redirect from which one page to another page. Okay, suppose if I remove right now this page, if I remove from my website, but it is still there on the Google, what I will do, instead of just leaving like that, because if it is still there on the Google, when somebody click on the Google, when somebody search and click on that result, then they will see the error. But instead of seeing that error, what you are doing, you are just redirecting from old page to maybe some new mouse. Okay, maybe instead of that mouse you will redirect to this mouse, so that what people think, they at least see some product instead of going the error. Is this clear as of now? Any questions as of now?
Now it is.
Yes. And then the XML sitemap is the one which we discussed. Whenever Google crawl any website, it will first go to the robots.txt. So you can just check, all of this is technical, but if you just search robots.txt documentation, okay, there will be official documentation from Google for regarding anything, not only this. Okay, and you have also for anything you just put generator. Okay, like whenever you want to create something technical, most of the times now you find these generators. Okay, generators are nothing but these are free tools through which you can generate the robots.txt or sitemap. So you just need to do your basic details, like you just need to put your sitemap URL and which pages you want to disallow. If you keep those things now, then automatically you can create from here. But this is for a large website. Small websites, I thought you don't have anything generally. So that is a robots.txt is the one where you don't want Google to don't crawl your pages. Okay, whenever you put any pages on the robot.txt, so you also need to see whether it is allowed or disallowed. So suppose see, here there is some command where the allow is mentioned. Okay, whereas some commands where disallow is mentioned. Most of the times you will have a disallow only. So disallow means you don't want to crawl these pages, whereas allow means you are specifically telling to the Google that you want to allow this page. Okay, so that is the thing. And sitemap means, whereas a sitemap what is means, after it crawls the robots.txt and it understands which pages it don't want to crawl, then it comes to the sitemap. Okay, where it identifies which pages it needs to crawl, which pages are important. So is there whenever you have a website and any of the important pages you have, you should have those pages in your sitemap. Okay, so if you can't able to see your your important page in the sitemap, then that is a problem. And if there are any unnecessary pages are there, which you don't want, then you don't need that in the sitemap. So sitemap should be clean. Okay, because Google come here and understand these are the pages it needs to crawl, so it should be as clean as possible. Sometimes you will see, for some websites they don't clean this sitemap, they will have all the random pages. But whereas some websites they don't have their important pages in the sitemap. So you need to make sure that all of our important pages on the sitemap, so that Google crawls and you know it indexes. HTTPS, so when you are purchasing a domain, it comes with a security, means HTTPS, security layer. Suppose sometimes, every 6 months or 1 year, if security layer is got expired, you need to renewal. Okay, some platforms they charge for renewal of even security layer, but many of the platforms it is free only, like you can just upgrade after, but every 6 months they'll upgrade their guidelines, so it may expire. So you just need to go to your domain where you purchased your domain, and also always remember, you have a, even if you don't understand something in the domain settings or hosting settings, you always have a support team. Okay, so obviously nowadays you have a ChatGPT which can help, but still if you suppose if you don't understand something or if you want something to do, then you have a support available wherever you purchased, so you just coordinate with them, they can help you in implementing. So site speed, I think site speed I told you right earlier, Google PageSpeed Insights I have explained while I am explaining on page. So here you can put any page URL and you can analyze what is the speed of the page both in mobile and desktop. And there is another website also which you can look into, which is a GTmetrix. So this is another website where you can again put your website and check your performance. So it will analyze and give you the scores, all the scores. But official one is this one, PageSpeed Insights. It's a Google one, Google tool. And then Core Web Vitals is something which is, let's suppose, whenever if you open any website, so it will not immediately open. Okay, it will, there is some fraction of seconds there will be a delay. Okay, suppose if you take any website, very few websites where it will immediately open. So right now see, Amazon is directly opening most of the but whereas some websites if you take they have this errors where it will take some time to load and display the information. Okay, I'll tell. So see, this website, when I open, it is taking some time to display the information. So why is taking some time? Because this is taking, there are images or the videos which will take time to load. So there is some shift happening when, this is a very micro level and it is so technical. Okay, and I think it's been introduced 1 year back only. So obviously, like developer only can able to fix it. They need to optimize these images or back end code level, so that it should appear the website whenever somebody come to the website. It should display immediately without even a delay or any loading errors and all. Okay, so that is something we call it as a uh, yeah,
Core
that is
Web Vitals.
yes, core web vitals. So core web vitals also you can check in the Google search console. Okay, because Google search console it is only for your website. You can see what is the core web vitals for your website. So right now you can see when I click on core web vitals, this website does not have a green color it is showing means so all are good URLs, whereas some websites uh, so for my website there is it is saying not enough data, but yeah, many times you have the core web vitals errors. So you can see yeah, see this website has the core web vitals. It has a 59 poor URLs. Means you can see also if you open a report, so you can see in detail why it is poor URL, what is the causing, which pages are causing those errors. LCP issue means largest contentful page, means for every page there is one largest element. Okay, means it where it has a mostly it is a header image. This first image is there, right? This we call as a header image. So generally LCP issue, largest full contentful paint, is longer than 4 seconds. So it is taking longer than 4 seconds, so that is the reason this error is appearing. Okay, and it is for multiple pages. So developer needs to work on this and need to fix it. Yeah, see, this is a report from GTmetrix. This is how it will show the LCP or performance. Different tools will show the different data, but obviously if everything is looking good, at least you'll have some decent scores. Okay, maybe there will be a slightly change of scores will be there, but that's fine. Oh yeah, and after that, mobile friendly, I think this I already shown. Right click, inspect. You can see how on the mobile it is there. Rather than this, I suggest you to go open through your mobile only and check any website which your website. So but here you can put it in different devices. Let's say I want to see how it is appearing in Samsung Galaxy. So this is a Samsung Galaxy display. If I want to see how it is appearing in iPhone 14, so this is how it appears. So you just need to check that. And if something is problematic, even a minor things, okay, it's not like major things only, even a slight button click also, or a small text not visible properly, or text something is not loading, so every small thing is important. And multilingual SEO, which we call it as a international multilingual means basically it's a multiple languages. So suppose in India only you have a multiple languages. So you can create different versions of website, and you can optimize each version. Like suppose if you take any global websites, okay, maybe which software, not CRM. Okay, I searched warehouse software. Now here, this is Indian. Okay, you can see johor.com/in means it's a Indian version. Suppose if you open, maybe if you search from, let's say, from UK, then you will see the UK version of it. But that is a country based, whereas a language specific also you have. Okay, means suppose if you go to the Spain, they have the particular language. So language optimization is something, and now it is more popular, okay, compared to earlier, because now many people are searching or asking on voice, voice search, or there is something called voice search optimization also. You see, SEO is very deeper. Uh, the more, not only SEO, if you take anything in the digital marketing, everything is deeper. Now this is a something called where we can optimize for voice. How to optimize for our voice. It's slightly different from regular SEO which we do. Similarly, there is something called international SEO. Okay, international SEO. So basically, international SEO is optimizing, for multiple brands. Multiple locations globally. Suppose you want to target multiple countries, okay, for your to rank on globally, then you need to do the international SEO. So see, process will be same, but what happens is when it comes to international SEO, you need to take care more things, like there is a specific language, there is a specific settings which you need to put, specially international perspective. There is something called hreflang. So hreflang tags we call it as. Basically, this used to tell the search engines the language and target of a web page. So it's nothing but a code, okay, small piece of code. Even Canonical also tag only. So canonical tag. So see, this is a canonical tag. Previously I shown in the WordPress, but on the back end in the code, this is the tag it will appear. Similarly, hreflang code is I told, right? So this is also a code. Okay, on the back end you just need to put this hreflang code, so that and you need to define which language, which country, so it will take care of that optimization. Okay, so you have a tools for everything. You have a tools now. You just need to explore and implement. So see, and there is a mobile SEO. So with the help of these tools, you can check how mobile friendly it is. You have a schema generator, you have a search engine result simulator, means suppose how your website is appearing in the Google. Suppose if you give your URL here, title here, description here, then automatically this will show. Basically they are showing how your website will appear on the Google. Okay, so once you use this tool, so like that you have a multiple tools and multiple practices which you need to incorporate, so that your website will be fully optimized. Am I clear? Is there any questions as of now?
No, Vijay.
Yeah, so it's technical SEO is means very deeper. In fact, there are a lot of things. Okay, but yeah. And now coming to the third part of it, which is a off page SEO or off page optimization, whatever you call it as. So what does this mean? So basically, up to now, what we discussed is we have taken care of technical SEO means it's base, like a foundation for a building. Okay, if your building foundation is not strong, then no matter, even if you build a 50 100 floors building, it will collapse. So similarly, technical SEO factors needs to be strong, whatever that we discussed. Suppose if something if they are not proper, if there are any technical issues, then that is the first thing which you need to fix. After that, there is a on page SEO. Okay, on page SEO is something like where you optimize on your website to your content, your headings, your subheadings, your internal linking, your what we call as so images. All of these things comes under on page SEO, and it is also we are doing on our website only. Whereas off page SEO is something which we do on a third party websites, not our website. Okay, why we need to do the third party websites? Because uh, it's like we can tell, suppose let's say maybe you are, imagine you are an expert in a particular field. Now you can tell more things about yourself. Okay, you can tell anything about, let's say there is a doctor. Now doctor can tell that I am the best doctor in my area, or in Vizag or in Hyderabad. So we can tell anything about ourselves, but whereas whether the doctor is a actual expert or whether he is a good or bad, it needs to be told by the patients who treated there. Okay, or it should be told by some obviously people around that area, or people who taken the treatment, or some known personalities. Let's say there is a if some influencer come to your hospital and taken a treatment, so means that there is something special. Okay, like that. Or if other doctors recognize you, then that is also a good approach. Or let's say all India Medical Association, okay, given some award to you, that for your best maybe contributions. So then that is the highest level. Okay, where you got recognized. So we can tell about ourselves, anybody and everyone. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir. Auto.
Okay, great. So understand the concept. So what I'm trying to say is, we can, anyone can tell about themselves. Anybody can tell basically about ourselves. But when some external people, and that to some highest level people, recognize or refer us, then that is the we can say best one. Okay. So similarly, Google also works in a similar way. Okay, so on your website you can write about anything. You can write that you are a best doctor in India, or the best doctor in the world, or you can basically write lot of pages. You can create 100 different pages and write about you, or your services or your treatments and everything. Okay, whereas coming to the third party, okay, or some external people, they don't refer you easily, okay, they don't just a second. আমার కొంచెం బయటలో okay. So understand, so third party people will not or third party websites, they don't refer us easily, and that too when some website is already a good website. Let's say, suppose if Akhil and Bharat, you guys have created a new website, you can take a link, you can write about each other, or you can link back with each other. But whereas if some let's say if some Hindu paper, Hindu website needs to write about Bharat, or or let's say some All India Medical Association needs to write a article about you, so then it will not come easily, it will be very hard. So because no all of those are reputed websites, and we don't even have the access to those websites also. So here what you need, either you need good money, or some influence, or I can say authority. Okay, just to simply tell you the example, suppose imagine you are at new company, okay, nobody knows about you. Then what you can, there is something called PR means press release, okay. Press release means all the newspapers or all the news channels, or every most of the top websites where they write about the news, or they write about the stories. Now what they can do, they can you can reach out to the PR agencies, and they will write about you, okay, or they will talk about you by taking the money, okay. And that will not be like 100 rupee, I mean within hundreds or thousands, it will be in lakhs, lakhs of rupees. People spend even the crores of rupees if the big companies. So just for the PR, for a press release or public reputation, means we can say for a reputation, or for this promotions basically, they spend a lot just to talk about their brand. So what happens in that process, obviously they will get a backlinks also, all the news sites or all the reputed sites, they publish articles about this company or this brand. Suppose let's say if I go to the Times of India, now this is the Times of India, okay. Now these are the ads, okay. Right now I'm not talking about the ads, but whereas if you go to the, let's say, okay, let's say entertainment. Now if you see, you have two types of articles generally. One is because they are already famous, and if you write about them, obviously people see, ultimately what these news channels and all, what they need is, they need more people to read their article. Means the more users they have, the more money they will make through ads. Now how can they have the more users? By writing with about someone who is already famous, or some gossip stories, or something which is entertaining, or someone about a big influencers, or the famous personalities. If they write about them, then people will read about them, okay. So that is how they make money, obviously, like when more people read, their viewership will increase, and through these ads they will make money. But whereas the other way, suppose maybe there are some articles they will write specially for the promotions. Okay, they are promotions only, but they will write by taking the money. Okay, just to give you the example,
Like paid promotions.
yeah, paid promotions, but they won't be like, they won't show that they are a paid promotions. Okay,
Okay.
they will look like organic. The articles are looks like organic. Like they are writing for a about something genuine, but they are actually by taking money. Okay, suppose let's say if I go to the mm, let's see tech. Okay, now if you see the tech, now they have written about why Swiggy picked Nandita Sinha, another Flipkart veteran, to lead Instamart's turnaround. Okay, especially about the companies and the brands. And if you see River raises $120 million from Elevate, or maybe Freshworks Q2 revenue rises 60% to 237. So most of these articles are the paid only. Why they are paid? Because they want to show all the positive about their brand. So that suppose if they are companies, what is the role of the companies or the startups? They need investors. They want investors to look into their company, and they want investments. Okay,
Yes.
similarly, if it is already existing company, if they are already company running, now they need a clients. They need more and more clients. Now if they, if some PR companies talk about them, or if news channels and everyone is talking about them, then obviously the big companies, or they will look for these news, or these articles, or these headlines, and then they start getting the projects. So that is how these people make money. Okay, so suppose let's say a river raises $120 million. Now by seeing this heading, obviously they got a lot of name, and yeah, by seeing this they are making a lot of money. What I can say, sorry. What is happening? Yes, some you can see some are the articles where you are seeing sponsored. Okay, they are anyway sponsored, but I am talking about articles which are looking like organic, but they are paid. Okay, those kind of articles I am right now talking about. Okay, and
The
also while writing, obviously there is somewhere they will give the link to their website. If they are looking organic, obviously they won't give the link. Especially websites like Moneycontrol, they don't give the links easily. but there are many websites, okay, where they will give the link about for their website. So on the left side bottom you can see these are all internal links. I'm just looking if there is any backlink is there to. No, these are all internal links only. Fine. And this is a okay, this PR is a one type of off page activity, and there are multiple types of off page activity. Suppose let's say you are a maybe some healthcare or hospital, or let's say you are a doctor. Now I told you right earlier, you know if another doctors or another medical related institutes talk about you, because they are more relevant. Let's say if I have a hospital or if I am a doctor, and if another other doctors or other medical institutes or other hospitals are talking about me or my achievements, then I have a more authority rather than some random news channel is writing about me. See, relevancy is always important. So that is the reason, suppose if I search, let's say top hospitals in Hyderabad. Suppose I search top hospitals in Hyderabad. Now you can see there are two types of results. One is individual hospitals, and another is a top 10, top 5, top 20. These are the listing sites. They talk about, they list about your hospital. Okay, and obviously they want to attract the leads from this. They have their own way of making money. Although it's not a hospital, but they write about healthcare, or they write about the hospitals, and through that they generate the leads, through that they make money. Okay, yeah, I think they have the hotels also. They have some see, hotel.medsurgindia.com. So here they have the completely, they talk about hotels. So this is their business model. Similarly, so let's see what are the other side. See, and also Reddit. These are called forums. Forums means generally people talk about different topics. Let's say right now, see, this is a community around Hyderabad. People talk about Hyderabad city in this community. Now if somebody asked, I am tired of hearing countless stories about hospitals more than money certain businesses. So somebody is asking a question about hospitals, and somebody else is answering. Suppose imagine if your brand is listed, somebody is recommending your brand. See, I would recommend Yashoda, Tim's, Apollo, and also he has given the links also to other posts. So what happens is, when people talk about your brand in these forums or in these communities, and sometimes and you will get a link, you will have an opportunity to get a link from here also. Right now Reddit is not doing that. If you try to take a backlink from a Reddit, it will ban from the platform. So Reddit is not giving the backlinks easily. Okay, whereas you have other forums like Quora is a good example for taking the backlink. See, in the Quora, when somebody asked which is the best hospitals in Hyderabad, and somebody is written this, and they have not taken any link. Suppose if you see this, what courses does DY Patil online offer? See, here they have taken a backlink. If you see the link, if I click on this link, it is taken to the dypatil.online.com. So, and see, this is a, generally Quora, how Quora needs to work is, let's say if you have a question, if Bharat has a question, Bharat will post it in the Quora. And if somebody knows the answer, then they will answer. That is how generally, organically it should happen. But what companies will do is, for the SEO purpose, they will only create a questions with, maybe they'll have a multiple Quora accounts. They will only ask the question from one account, and they will only answer from another account and take a link. Are you understood?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
suppose,
Vijay, but it
yes,
is
tell me.
very, like it is very in a deep, I think.
Very deep, obviously. See, if you see this question, what courses does DY Patil online offer? It has 1,15,000 views. Now imagine, the number of people who actually clicked on this link, and then this is a one way, clicking on the link and going to the website. It's a one way of marketing. But whereas another way is, Google treat these as a important backlinks, and Google gives some authority. That one only we call it as a domain authority. Okay, for domain, to check a domain authority of any website, you can just check a DA checker, website domain authority checker, and you can put a domain. So it will show the score. So right now my website has a 26 out of 100. So if you take a Google or Facebook or Meta, they have the 100, 95, 96, 97, like that. So the more authority you have, the more traffic you can gain from internet. Is this clear? But the sites should be reputed ones. Okay, the only important thing here is, whatever the sites which you are taking, they should be very good websites. Earlier what used to do is, people, they just create they'll just create backlinks from some random websites, some fake websites, some betting websites, from porn websites. There are a lot of sites, and they'll create some regularly new sites, some free sites. Every day they create hundreds of free websites, and then they publish some content, and then getting a link. It's like a literally spamming. Okay, but Google has a, some algorithm update few years back. What Google has done is, if if it is getting the spammy links or fake links, then it will penalize the website, so that it won't appear on the Google. So how can you check whether the website is spammy or not? So all you need to do is just go and search spam score checker. So there are many tools are there. So here you can put any website and check what is the spam score of the website, means how much spammy it is. So you can put up to 5 URLs, like because it's a free website. So like that you can check the spam score. Okay, see, earlier domain rating and domain authority is slightly different. Domain authority means it will take complete website, whereas domain rating, which previous tool shows, it will consider only backlinks. Okay, whereas domain authority considers your on page, your internal linking, your everything. Okay, domain rating is specially for off page. So right now my website is spam score is 2 out of 100. There are some websites where the spam score is 30%, 40%, 50%. So literally, if you take a backlink from those kind of a websites, your website will be lost. You will get a penalty. Is this clear? Did you understand?
Yeah.
So whatever the sites which which we want to get the backlink, we need to first of all check what is their domain authority. Suppose if their domain authority is 0, or maybe some 5 or 10, they are very less, there is not much use, even if you take a backlink from those kind of sites. Similarly, if their spam score is some 20%, 30%, 40%, again it's a waste. But if you find a really good website which high domain authority and very less spam score and good traffic, how much traffic means monthly number of users, how many users are coming to that site. All of these are important, and we need to check before publishing some article or taking a backlink. Otherwise, what happens, your reputation will go on, your site will go down. Understood? Is this clear? Any questions as of now?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll continue from here tomorrow, and yeah, you can let me know if you have any question. Okay, done then. Thank you guys. Bye.
Okay, Vijay, thank you.
Yeah.